Howdy folks, we're racing once again on the Commodore 64. My name is Nick and this one is called the Cycles International Grand Prix Racing, published by Accolade in 1989 and developed by Distinctive Software from the same people that gave you Test Drive 2 and Grand Prix Circuit. This pretty much borrows heavily on the Grand Prix Circuit engine, if not exactly the same. Also come out on the Commodore Amiga, which I reviewed, MS-DOS, Amstrad CPC and the Spectrum. I reviewed the Spectrum one, I can't quite remember, but anyway, it's based more of a simulation than an arcade game. We'll jump into a championship circuit, we'll keep it on beginners. Don't worry, we won't be racing it on a penny farthing. So we'll keep it on beginners, just get an idea of the game. This isn't about expert gameplay, we all know this. It's about seeing how the game would have played when you first let it go. With them enough there, if you want to play it again, there's a selection of bikes from 125ccs up to 500ccs, getting quicker and quicker and more powerful. Let's get the baby bike and take this thing out for a spin. I think although it was released as a game in its own right, it may feel like a dated disc from the original Grand Prix circuit. Check that one out if you haven't already, so you've got something to compare it against. So we start off in Japan. If you had this game back in the day, let me know. We're stress busting, we're having a laugh, and we're seeing what the hell goes on here on our motorbikes as we motorbike race. So Super Hang-On is like more of an arcadey game. This is supposed to be more of a simulation. To prepare to qualify, quite long loading time, so we'll edit those down for ye. Okay, so we should be here we go. So that's the finish. No, that's not the end of the lap. It's the start of the lap. We've got to get round there again. There's a map on the top left you spotted already with the yellow dot. Quick, get it in gear. Time is on the right, and we need to qualify as quickly as we can without going off the road. It feels a bit like a fly. Now, I might be wrong, but it sounds very similar, if not identical, to Grand Prix Circuit, despite we're on a motorbike rather than a rather than a car. Right, yes. The frame rate is making this game very, very tricky, but it's doing quite a lot. It's not moving very smoothly, but 1989, could I've asked for a bit more? I don't know. Grass is green, we know this. Let's write that down in your books. It's not going to be any spectacular different shades of green, and I'm finding this a little bit of a handful first of all, but as I say, this is my first go. So let's keep this driver out of the hospital, or rider out the hospital, if indeed we can. There are markers there in yellow telling you how many metres to the next corner. I'm moving quite slow, but quick enough for me to be in trouble. Now what I always don't understand about quite a lot of retro games where they're racing around a circuit, why is there a white line down the middle, like a dotted line? You get that on a main road, you never get it on an actual street circuit. Well, no, actually get it on a normal track circuit, I should say, because you're not going to get cars coming in the opposite direction. Yes, bit unusual. It's not like hard driving or anything. Probably go quick around there, so I'm going to be way off the racing line, because it's handing a little bit like a giraffe on ice skates as I try and get through. So, yeah, I don't know what they could have done here. Well, I'm being disorientated a little bit by the way the bike leans left and right. I don't think they could have done it unless they designed a completely different engine, but it would have been better if the horizon maybe tilted slightly rather than the rider, because I feel like I'm staying in the same position. So I feel a bit of disconnect with the bike. Is that fair to say? I mean, I think that's what disorientated me there. So it's leaning there, and it's leaning back that way. So if it was going to be a simulation, it should have just tried and tilted the horizon rather than this. But anyway, that's just what I think. Right, what's the time now? We're coming up to the end of the first lap. There's our qualifying. Biff. Now, if that's not pole position, my name's Super Big Nose a Fifth. Let's see what's happened. Oh, I'm last. Super Big Nose a Fifth. No, my name's Accolade. It says there I'm the number 9, which is German for no. And basically, that's if they wanted to hire me as a bike rider. Well, let's go. We're in the race. We're starting from the rear. And we'll see how many people we can overtake. There's a yellow rider and a green rider. They look about 2 feet taller than me. Perhaps I'm on a little itty smaller bike, like that Evil Knievel you had, where you revved up and it went round a loop or something. Right, let's pass those 2 wallies. Perspective is awful. They might get a bit slower. Can I get round him? Oh, so I'm on the grass. And that's going to cost us a bit of time. Oh, man. Get this engine. 125ccs is not very good through grass. Right, let's go. The engine sounds like a fly. Would I have played this back in the day? Yes. I've been a bit cruel to it so far, but I think I would have played it. Because I love Test Drive, and I love Test Drive 2, where the frame rate weren't that great. And I like Grand Prix Circuit, where the frame rate again wasn't that great. So I would have liked having a data disc, what this essentially is, on motorbikes. It's just like fairly modern-ish game called Drive Club, which I liked on cars and bikes as well, and that's probably following a similar idea, getting one and the other. Good idea by Accolade trying to extend sales by using the same sort of engine and putting the bikes there as well. So compared to other bike races, is it any good? Well, it's a nice little change. You've got Team Suzuki on the Commodore Amiga, and you know, that was sort of okay. It's a bit tough to come up with a cool bike game. There's MotoGP on the most newest machines, which I haven't played as of yet, MotoGP. If you played that, let me know. How much more advanced is that one than this, and does the Horizon lean or not? Let me know there. Horizon is acceptable but not very inspiring. They've got that set standard cloud up there. Don't know if that's exactly the same cloud that's in Grand Prix circuit. I expect it's different, but I wouldn't be surprised if it is identical. Just got a different front end graphic really. We might do 1 races, we might do 2 races. I think they said this is Japan. Can't see anything to mark it out as being Japanese. And turning Japanese, I really think so. Right, okay, prove it. Yeah, see, just about beyond the point where we overtake a rider, they go titularly super small. There we go, watch that. Yes, see, that's not good. What is nice about this game though, which is well programmed, is they've got the rear view. Now it's tough to do that in 8-bit with the amount of memory they've got available, in this case 64K, but it is an accurate rear view. There we go, just saw that guy in yellow around the back. Best chance of overtaking is down the straight. You can set the different laps for each race. This one is free. Bear in mind this is on beginner mode, so a bit further on you might have to do your own gears, I'd imagine, and the opponents might be a little bit tougher or a little bit quicker. This engine noise would get on my nerves after a while. It doesn't sound much like a motorbike. Maybe if the motorbike went through a helium factory and it all went into the engine, and the engine works a bit like vocal cords, then it might do there. If you've driven on a motorbike through a helium factory and the engine's gone really high and your vocal cords as well, then comment in the comment section below. Good. Or you might be a MotoGP rider yourself or got some experience in that area, and also comment, is it similar or is this nothing like any motorbike ever? Oops, I've clicked the back wheel. I'm sent flying and he continues as normal. Looks like more like a guy doing his paper round. Say guy, probably a boy, wouldn't it? Paper guy. Oh, I'm on the grass again. That's cost me a whole heap of time. I'm trying to see my position. Oh, that's in the top right. Position 8 of lap 2. I think the top 10 in the position to score points. We're all going to score points, but I want to get on the podium. I want to get on the podium, big nose. I want to taste the champagne or beat the flowers over someone's head next to me. No pit girls, of course. That era's long gone. I did like the glitz and the glamour of that sort of era, but you know, we're in a sort of like area where that's not allowed. I mean, they should have evened it up, having a muscle-bound bloke and a bikini babe at the end with even Stevens, but no, it's demeaning to everyone. Him, them, him, gender neutral, everyone would have been up there. Chewbacca, to not offend anyone in the whole universe. Right, position 7, 1 lap to go. Can I win the race from here? Experts say no way, Jose, but I might be able to do it, like an amazing Barry Sheen. Funny enough, Barry Sheen, growing up, 80s I think, maybe early 90s, he was the top motorbike racer that everyone talked about. Equivalent to Daley Thompson, I suppose, in the athletics field, that sort of era, but I can't recall any Barry Sheen licensed games. Why wasn't this Barry Sheen Cycles or something like that? If you know a Barry Sheen game, then let me know in the comment section below. What happened to Barry Sheen? Why didn't he get the license? Maybe it was offered to him and he didn't want it. Don't know. This is a bit when someone tells me Barry Sheen's Dominoes is about, or some other unconnected game. Barry Sheen's Connect 4 and other pub games. I don't think Connect 4 is a pub game. I prefer Connect 1, it takes quicker to do, but make sure you go first for ultimate victory. What am I talking about? Well, we're going through a tunnel. You don't get your normal commentary on these sort of reviews. Now, if you watched this far into the video and you've gone insane, then you might be worth subscribing if you haven't already. If you have subscribed, then well done on your trip into Palookaville. But you're beating stress, really. This world wasn't designed with sensible people in mind, and if you're a non-sensible person, then you're winning. You're winning, Big Nose. Right, good. Hello, my name's Nick, by the way. Did I tell you? Could have been. These games, not expert gameplay, it's like we're playing them down the pub if such a thing was possible. We're having pints, we're mucking about, we're having fun, we're patting each other on the shoulder and we're saying, look you, in life you're doing okay, don't be so hard on yourself. It's a departure from reality, this thing, but in reality you're doing well, and in unreality you're doing absolutely awesome. So stay on your bike. Now the guy can never fall off the bike in this game. It's not allowed. He's on there like glue. Be interested to see what the other bikes are like that go a bit quicker. There we go. 3 laps done. 4:51. Was that my quickest lap yet? 1:32.91. We come 7th. Well, that's better than 8th, but not quite as good as 6th. So more practice required. End of race. Please wait. Boo 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 boo. Accolade. 6th place it said. I thought it said 7th there. Maybe someone got disqualified for wearing the wrong shorts. Congratulations, you have set the best lap time for this track. Does that in Test Drive 2 and Grand Prix Circuit as well. Save it back onto the disc or the tape. And next, oh right, the first race I think might have been Austria. We're on to Suzuka now. Oh no, that was it. That was just the roundup, Suzuka. It was that. Good. I know what I'm talking about. Next up is Austria. AJ Wong won the first race. There we go. He's on 20 points. What's the time? Well, it's probably enough for a review. We aim to be 10 minutes, but let's just do a quick other race. If you're staying with me, then thank you very much as we go to Phillip Island. Island of the Phillips. No man's an island unless he's in the bath. That's a quote by Norman Lovett. I.e., he's an island surrounded by water. Right, prepare to qualify. Might be a shorter lap this time, I don't know. Right, automatic gears, because we're on beginner. If you're doing it on manual gears, then good luck. Come on, floor it. Slow start just like before. Keep with it. Same cloud as Japan. Maybe they packed it in a suitcase and took it with them. But the horizons are different. It's green mountains. So mountains covered in grass or slime or anything else that's green. Yeah. I don't want to go too far into that. Right, quick around the corners this time. I'm getting a bit used to it. Try and get a decent speed up. The speed's in the top middle. You've seen that there in like a pinky reddy colour, and gears next door. Hard to glance up to that at the same time as keep your eye on the road. So in reality, when you're racing the game, I think you can find it very rare that you can glance up to that top bit. Unless a quick glance to see the rear view mirror. You certainly wouldn't use the map, although it's nice to see. And occasionally you might have jumped up with the time on the road, but whenever you take your eye off the screen, the main action down the bottom there, then that's when you make a crash or you go off on a corner. Car can't crash, you can't come off the bike as far as I can see, but there we go. But yeah, there's a little bit of disconnect in the racing between if I feel like I'm on the bike or not, if it's trying to be a simulation. But overall, a good addition to Grand Prix Circuit if you're into those sort of games, which I was. I'm always a sucker for racing games. I like them a bit more than any other genre, but I can see why people would have hated this game, but it does take a bit of getting used to. I mean, I'm enjoying this second qualifying session a lot more than the first qualifying session, because I'm trying to get an idea how quick you can go around the corners. Right, okay, that's probably be a bit better. I doubt if I'm at the back there. Didn't do too much wrong. Yeah, there we go, 8th, so I'm crashing it, but 1:17.6. Yeah, I need a lot to get to 1:01 though. But anyway, perhaps I'm still easing off a lot around the corners. If I clip the inside line, I might not need to decelerate at all. Anyway, here we go. Last race of the review. Here we go. Thank you to the members keeping this thing on the road, which is more than I can say for the bike, because I clipped that back wheel there. If you want to see other Commodore 64 games, reviewed quite a few. I'm building all the time. To get there, click my username. Click on the playlist tab and you'll see a big list of Commodore 64 games within that folder, as well as a number of others as well. And that's the mistake I made last time. I clicked a bike's back wheel, gone onto the grass, lost a lot of speed, and I've gone right back through the field to position 10th. And there's only 10 bikes in this thing. Hell's bells, hell's to Betsy. Probably more of a challenge this on the 500cc bikes, but start on 125 first of all. Right, the other bikes, as you notice, they are leaning. I was going to say they weren't leaning, but they're leaning slightly around the corners. The game hasn't aged well. If you're a kid trying to get into this sort of era of games, you'd be alarmed by the frame rate, which is quite shocking by today's standards when you're looking at about 120 frames a second. Here, I don't know, 4 frames a second, maybe 6 frames a second, if that. Never mind, we're having fun. So, super hang-on for arcade gaming, the cycles for like simulation type games, if indeed you can class this as a simulation. Look at the rear view mirror there, it's got no rumble strip in that rear view mirror, so we can only see that. So it's less detail in the rear than at the front, no horizon in the rear view mirror. They're trying to do that to keep the speed. If you actually do horizons and finer detail, you'll be in big bother. So it's just a reference point rather than anything, so I won't mark the game down for that. I think it would have scored okay back in the day without getting the high 90s. I would guess it scores anywhere between 60 and 70%, but that is just a guess. I don't check the reviews before reviewing the games. I'm not minding it, but some people would have hated it really. But you need to get absorbed by it. You need to make a bit of a backstory in your mind, who you're racing, your rivals, and all that sort of guff stuff. Sometimes having a bike in front of you gives you a rough indication of how quick you can take the corners. You can try and speed it a bit quicker each time, but where you lose the most time in your lap times is going onto the grass, because it takes an absolute age to get off, and you have to leave quite a wide berth around the other bikes, because any clips of them, it's going to send you either left or right in the wrong direction. Sound a bit annoying but acceptable. Frame rate poor but acceptable for the time. Graphics on a par with other games I like, so overall I wouldn't have minded this game. I quite like it. There we go. Oh man, I think it's better than Super Cycle. It's more like from memory, it's like a chase view on the Commodore 64. Come on, come on, come on. Good, that's a good bit of overtake. So I'm in 7th place like before. The lap does seem to be short. Oh, look, there. See, if you go wide, it takes an age to get back on. The other bike's going to come past. Is he? Yep, he's back. He's passed. Into 8th place, stuck on a rumble trip. Another one's going to come past, surely. There it goes, in red. So I'm second from last. You can see all the dots there on the map on the top left. That represents all the other riders. You knew that already. I'm the yellow one. So you can see there's a bit of a gap between the one behind me, but also there's a huge gap to the actual leader. Lap 3. It's the final lap. It is the final lap. I'm available for voiceover work, by the way. I've mentioned it before. I do some voiceover work on a really great game. Available, hopefully at the time of recording it's available on Steam, or soon will be, called Super Pixel Grand Prix. When it says checkpoint, that's me. Checkpoint, that's me. Good stuff, and a few other bits as well. Yeah, by Ross Bossy, that game. Super Pixel Grand Prix. Been in development for quite some time. Exciting project, and it's got a much better frame rate than this, I would have to say. But it has a retro feel, but much better than this. Right, okay, I'm biased of course, because I'm in the game. He's in the game, as EA would say. Right, that cloud's still there, not dispersing. No rain conditions on these sort of games, it's always sunlight, apart from a single cloud in the sky. Right, come on Nick. I ain't got too much of the lap to go, so I've come about 7th in the first race. Looks like I think I'm 7th in this race. You will get gradually better as you play it on. It's another one of those games I could spend hours on without it being particularly good, but not being particularly bad either. I spent ages on without actually realising it as I try and go through the whole season. I mean, even that terrible Days of Thunder game that come bundled with my Commodore Amiga that moved at an absolute crawl, I played for a very, very long time. Anyway, it's amazing what you put up with as a kid, isn't it? Before you had any decent comparison that comes with experience and getting a little bit old. Finish! There we go. There's me done. 1 minute 12, 7th again. Well, So now it's going to end of race. Now it'll give us the actual final results. Exciting, eh? I think it's got stuck. Oh well, I think it's got stuck anyway. That would have annoyed me back in the day, but maybe it's my version. So, hope you like having a look at that game. You've heard what I think about it. It's called the Cycles International Grand Prix Racing. Quite a long name. Developed by Distinctive Software. Published by Accolade in 1989. Got any comments about this game, similar games, anything retro or Commodore 64? Then put that in the comment section below. You're always more than welcome. Until next time, take great care of yourself and are very fond. Goodbye.
Goodbye.